Kenyan citizens are being played, and we must wake up to the reality. And this is why, again, Bitok, I say power lies with the citizen. And an enlightened citizen is the strongest weapon that this country can never have. And if we can let them see the darkness, because when you look at issues with agriculture, as you mentioned earlier, and issues of land and youth unemployment, I expected, and all of us knows about Ndungu land reports, and all of us are aware of Waki land reports. Actually, some of these violences that we've been experiencing in this country are as a result of land. And if those reports were to be resolved, and to date, as we are talking, actually a number of issues, Kenyans will not even be concerned. They'll be tilling the land. Back to the scriptural principle that says, much is the food that lies in the fallow of the poor that goes uncultivated. If you till your land, you'll have plenty. And we are congested here. And thank you for inviting me close to the largest slum in the entire Africa. And it's not by our will that people end up in the slum areas. It is by design of our education system. So many vijana mwisho wa kusoma mutapata kazi mzuri sana, isn't it? And where are the jobs?
Education is the key to success.
Exactly.
But apparently the lock is not there.
Can you imagine? So if we can
they change the lock.
Exactly. Review our land policy. Make it such that our education is supportive of agriculture as a profession, then you will help the youth enormously. And giving the youth a help holiday, 4 years help holiday, because some of these youth, actually some of them have been out here for 10-8 years since they left universities, and they've never gotten jobs. So what assurance is 4 years bringing on the table that within 4 years they would have gotten a job? We should focus on job creation. If we are focusing on policies that are going to create, and that's why we are very keen on land. And these are the areas they do not want us to talk about, because these are the same people who are wasting our land away. Somebody is having vast lands that actually are lying fallow, unused, whereas you've seen, even here in Kibera, you'll find people are using polythene papers, with putting soil in them and creating food, which actually is, if you look at Kenyan food security, actually is coming from the kitchen garden. Yet people are lying with, are holding vast estates of land which are lying fallow.
You know what I said?
We should have a policy to bring them back to citizens.
You know what I said about land in BBI, and I didn't see it. And if you go to the list of those people who submitted memorandum to BBI, conspicuously my name is missing. I made a proposal on land. It is unheard of that a few kilometers from the city center, you can have someone owning up to 4,000 acres of land, lying idle without being done anything on them. Therefore, I propose to BBI to introduce something called inheritance tax, and introduce a 25% inheritance tax, so that if your father left you 1,000 acres, you can either pay 25% tax value of that land if you have that money in the bank. Most of the time, you may find that people will not have 25% value of the land in the bank. So what do they get to do? They will have to split a piece of it and be able, that is a quarter part of that land. You'd have to offroad it to raise the money to pay KRA. And in the process, Muchendo, who does not have land, can own a piece of that land. If we can introduce inheritance tax to those people who are getting that chunk of land, we will be able, in the next 100 years, we'll have dealt with big chunks of land lying idle around, because kids will continue splitting it as to pay the 25%, and the process, Kenyans who do not have land will continue having land. The other one, it is introduce an unused tax on land. That if you hold the big chunk of land and you're not using it, you attract tax on that land. That will help people who feel they cannot cultivate 1,000 acres. They can let go 200 acres to be able to cultivate the rest of 800. Because what we have reduced land into this country, we have reduced it as a security for taking loans. Someone has 1,000 acres here in Kenyatta Road and he can get $1 billion shillings from the bank. Meanwhile, that land lies idle because it is now property co-owned by him and the bank. So we have to introduce, whether you have taken loan on your land with any bank, we introduce tax that forces you to use your land. It does not sit idle there. It does not sit idle. I mean, move from Nairobi to Mombasa and you ask yourself, why do we have slums? Why do you have Kenyans? Because we have allowed people to hold land and they have used it as securities in the bank. That ought to be the case. Because if we don't do that, we will continue saying that we have problems and issues. Another thing that BBI has taken casually, if you look at it, look at the way they have addressed the issues of land casually. Now, if I was a citizen of the coast, I would not choose BBI. One of the people, the areas that has been affected adversely by the issues of land is the coast. Bitok, I own a piece of land in Ramu County. I don't even, other than that, the document of purchase and the allotment, I don't have a title deed. Because 80% of Lamu County does not have title deeds. Go to, what do you call it, the Diani, places like Musambweni, places like Ukunda, places like Diani. The who is who in this nation have decided to grab the ancestral right of the people of Pwani. If you go to Diani Beach, it is entirely owned by who is who in this country. That is ancestral right to the people of the coast. Has this BBI,
they are living without land.
Yes, this BBI has refused to address those issues because the people on the driver's seat on BBI are the same people who are the perpetrators of rat grabbing in the coast. So therefore, we are having a conversation that lacks honesty when it comes to BBI. If I was given an opportunity to speak to the president today, I look him in the face and tell him, Mr. President, you are not honest with Kenyans. Because what are the issues for Kenyans? One of the major issues for this country is land. And if this document has addressed the issues of land casually, then that document fails. The other issue is agriculture. What has this document addressed in terms of agriculture? Bear in mind, agriculture brings the GDP of this country 6%. 28% of employment in this country is from agriculture. Have we addressed the issues of agriculture in that document? We have not. 80% of everything Kina Orengo and company said in the Great Rift Valley the other day, it has nothing to do with the Roko Monanchi. It has everything to do with interest of Wajiko. Do I care whether Akikuyu is a president? It should not matter who is the president in this country if we are honest. If we have principles and policies that govern this country for the betterment of its people, it should not matter whether it is Juma, Abdi, Joroge, or Chieng, or whoever is the president. It should be the least of the concern for Kenyans if we have a principled kind of government in this country. And that's why I feel that BBI is not addressing the real elephant in the house. It is actually a cosmetic document addressing the issues that concern leaders. These people, look at who is who in leadership today. Their fathers and mothers who is who in the former government. And the same caliber of leaders wants to ensure that their kids will be who is who in the coming government. As in, we have turned this country, despite singing about democracy, we want to make it a monarchy and an autocracy kind of government. And that is what the BBI is seeking to address. So therefore, we have not addressed the real issue in the House. The real issue in the House is being mentioned in BBI cosmetically. There's nothing that concerns the common mwananchi. And I think for me, as my friend here, Juma, has said, that document lacks a pathway to the bridge itself.
All right, asante sana Mushendu. Let me read the comments here. I'll have to get ready to you look at the last topic as we close in today's podcast. Kimgano kunasema Kibicho, we lack it very soon. Chris Link anasema good work, keep going with that spirit. Thank you. Aisa Kiblaga Chiri anasema protest reported at Maricopa County, Arizona. Woi, umeanza kuchoma mataya pale Arizona. Woi, America.
Has Arizona been called it? I know Wisconsin has been called in Biden's favor. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not sure about Arizona.
There's a group that has stormed into a polling station. The biggest
America.
Yes, it is called the Americana County, where the city headquarters of the capital city of Arizona, Phoenix, is situated. They have walked into a main polling station with placards shouting, and the entire police is there in Phoenix trying to calm down. In fact, they are reporting that they have now adjourned the counting until they can normalize the issue.
Oh, not Tulambo.
Yeah, you would also be surprised that it is not only in Kenya where ballots get stealed. In America, we are having a report that I saw a report a while ago, and I'm gonna get it to you in just a minute. Yes, it is here. We have from the Fox News, authorities in Arizona are investigating after more than a dozen ballots were stolen from a mailbox and discovered last week at a farm. The Arizona State Attorney General office.
Stolen last week?
Yes. The Arizona State Attorney General said Tuesday that a worker at a farm located a stack of unopened mail-in ballots on Friday near the intersection of 99th and Glendale Avenue and reported it to the Glendale police. The Glendale Police Department shared on Facebook that the man who made the discovery, Brian Ruiz, located a total of 18 ballots in the field underneath some concrete and locks. It is the reason why the Trump supporters are storming the polling station.
What if those ballots were never lost in the first place? What if the people from Trump's camp? What if, okay, I'm assuming I'm Joe Biden.
Yes.
If I want to counter this narrative, what if I go and say, but my person saw person ABCD yesterday hiding those things under this, and I know they have been working with person A to go and dig them up so that they can pretend they found them.
The beauty about American politics is before they can learn to, the only thing they can learn to the Supreme Court of Arizona and ask is a recount of the ballots. And if you ask for a recount, you pay for it. That's the beauty about the American politics. So let's see what happens. But we really hope that the world of democracy, that is the United States, does not crumble, because don't be too happy. I've seen Kenyans shouting. It is not in the interest of this world for such nations to come crumbling down, because it will signal a different direction for the community of nations. So we really hope that things can be on track. You have seen Trump has gone to court. He has filed for a recount in Pennsylvania. He has filed for a recount in Michigan. He has filed for a recount in Georgia. Let's just let's see Americans make us proud by remaining the beacon of hope they have been in the past.
We can only hope.
Yes, we cannot allow them to have a movement, a Kofi Annan movement.
But you know what gives me hope is there's a group of 4 ladies. Miguna ashatuma application.
The squad.
Wachaneni na general. He's doing his job. So there's a group of ladies who are in the previous Senate in the United States of America, and they call themselves the Squad. It's 4 women. And I know one of them because I saw a documentary in which she was featured, and I actually love her. I love Alexandra Ocasio. Oh my God! If anyone can hook me up, please. She's a young woman, but she's very vocal and she's very into policies. So she's driving change through policies, and she's achieving actually a lot for her people. It's encouraging. The other interesting thing is that there are now 4 Somalis in the house, and we have 2 American Nigerians. So it gives me hope that our generation does not look at the nitty-gritties of what the older generations were looking at. You know, there's even a transgender who's been voted in, by the way. Yeah, so the world is changing. We are realizing the world is changing. We are just trying our best to adapt the changes to our current situation. And that gives me hope. For that reason, I really, really believe America is not going to fall. No matter what happens, I believe that there's strong people who are able to hold it up. Even if there are cracks in it, I'm sure they're going to hold it up. And I believe in the next 4 years, they're going to fix some of these things that are now outwardly showing. But then of interest is that they had a black president before, and now we are seeing blacks, Africans in the decision making table. So I feel like Africans are rising. And the world is not yet ready for us, but we are coming. We are coming
thick
very
and fast.
Strongly. And you're just going to hit them like pap. They won't even know what happened. But man, life began in Africa. I don't understand how we were colonized, by the way. I really don't get it. To date, I really don't get it. Life began in Africa. Without Africa, the world will die. But Africa will survive perfectly well without the world. In any case, it's the world that is killing us. We will survive perfectly without the world. When you look at everything that goes on in the rest of the world, these are problems that we don't even have in Africa. I mean, we are literally life givers. These people would not be existing if it were not for us. We are demigods walking on the face of the earth, man. We gave them life. We better start acting like the gods we are, man.
Hallelujah. And by the way, we want to thank, first of all, we want to appreciate Zimbabwe. They have already given a disclaimer. They've told them, if you guys are not going to conduct a free and fair elections, then you're going to give sanctions. Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, whether that's true or not. You've also mentioned that the Somalis have taken over, the 4 Somalis that are in the House of Reps. You've also mentioned Nigerian Americans. So is it safe to say that those who are demonstrating in Arizona are Kenyans? Anyway,
you also know we have
it could be safe to say that as a demonstrating.
We have a Democrat state senator with a Kenyan origin.
Oh, wow.
He's unfortunately so. He's a kin of the current Kenyan president.
That is where you...
Okay, unfortunately.
He's a guy called Malcolm Kenyatta.
Who
has been elected as a state senator from Philadelphia. He's now a state...
Philadelphia.
Yeah. He's now a state senator in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
We better start identifying our relatives. Mimi identify wawili. Kamala Harris na Obamayang. You saw Obamayang shaked his shoulders.
I will also say this. When the American politics, there is a new coalition in town when it comes to the American politics. It is the reason you could not fathom, you could not imagine that Arizona, Georgia, and Pennsylvania would become a battleground. Specifically Arizona and Georgia, you would not think that it could be in prey for the presidency of the United States. Basically, Arizona and Georgia have gone Republican for the longest time. It is also important to note that coalition has involved a lot of Latino voters. Today, we have a new senator in Colorado, a Latino. In Colorado, of all the press. If today Joe Biden is leading in Arizona, it is a composition of the Latino vote, the urban voters who mostly are Democrats, and we have the black vote. Now, that coalition of bringing Latino urban voters and the blacks together, it is unheard of in the American politics. And it's the reason why I keep saying that the growth at which American politics grow, we can only play the catch-up. So today, the reason why Trump is going to lose in Arizona, because he is going to lose in Arizona. I said that he disrespected the former distinguished gentleman, Senator for Arizona, John McCain. And in fact, he said that he's only popular because he was captured. And he doesn't like captured people who are captured. Forgetting that when they were, Trump was born when they were doing the mass recruiting. You remember those days during the Vietnam and all those wars, you had to be recruited. We know that Trump is one of those people who evaded being recruited in the U.S. Army.
He was not in the army.
He was not in the army. You have people like even Bill Clinton ran away so that he is not shortlisted to go to
all right,
the army.
guys. Wakati ni mbaya. All right, as we close in, wacha nimalizana comments. Max is at a place near Olympic Primary School. All right. Geriodis Okong, the day we will stop abusing language. Abusing language, the day people like Muchendo will learn that you can disagree with people without hating. That's the day we'll move forward as a community. All right. DJ Mickey Royce was Muchendo destroy the coward and Murad completely. Emmanuel Kimsema Arizona flip to Trump, more than 600,000 votes still not counted. Nasikia kuna bado boxes zimepotea pale Arizona. We are going to head there after the show to go and confirm ni nani aliiba ballot boxes. Hizo ballot boxes zilikuwa za nani. So from there we are going to call Kamala. You want to get a flight to Arizona to get to know what is going on in Arizona. Sultan Hari Tumbi anasema falling from Juja. Asante. John Burugu falling from Upper Hill. Thank you so much, John Burugu. You've been very loyal. I've seen you a new guy, but you've been very loyal. Asante sana. By the way, next week tutaanza kwa award loyal surprise. Ukikaka kidogo hivi na kupiga na zawadi. So uko unacheza kama wewe hapa. Simeon Kangana anasema watching from Kikuyu Town. P Muchendo saying it as it is. Murado Junior anasema falling from Mombasa Kipevu. Nilikuwa nimeshukuru hapa Rava Gui kwa kuletea kahawa. Tumelamba kahawa ya Java. Thank you for the Java love. Paris Cherojeta anasema morning team. Asante sana. Ligolin in Dimuli anasema BBI is a poison that kills Kenya. Emmanuel Kisang anasema ui Lucia you are switching to be my sister along some streets in Washington DC. Shovel it where. Peter Mudama anasema so are they saying MCA will get more millions from the county? They have done nothing with what they have so far. Tukiangusha na ingia ground. Josia kinasema Lucia beauty and brains. I love your articulation of issues. Pira Mudama anasema who is dividing us now. He cannot see that cause he is an unavailable president. Kazi yake ni kukaa state house at the run Zoom meetings za PR. Richard Michael Obere anasema I love this show. When you have a sober lady like Lucia, you know that someone has your back. Attitude and commitment can be constitutionalized. Act on pages that Lucia is articulating on BBI. Rabago anasema we needed police reforms, not police uniforms. We have rejected anyway. They have rejected the police uniforms, so maybe they get back and they'll give us the reforms. Unajua wanakaa kama firefighters kwa barabara. Tata Jire sema I love the show. Next day of course. Asante sana Titus. Thank you so much. Yadiso kwa sema good job Lucia and Juma. This is what wananchi wants and packing of BBI in totality so that we can make a decision. We make an informed decision. I feel sorry for people like Muchendo who can only talk about the PM issue. These guys is really on your case. Willy Kipkorir utasema hayo ni ukweli. Charity kitu mwenyewe baby anasema ndani ya the tackle. Asante. Jeffrey Kosgei anasema on matters of land it was technically given a blind eye on BBI following the conversation. Asante sana. Charity kasema Kenyan government will pronounce various sanctions against the American government if they don't conduct peaceful, free and fair elections. Ulisikia wapi? Well, ulisikia wapi? Charity kasema we are sending a strong warning to Trump. All right. Adjusto anasema watching from Dubai. Watu wa Dubai, thank you so much for joining in the broadcast. Angie Elodie Dinox anasema I love this show from Buru. Asante sana watu wa Buru. Thank you so much. Lucia anasema Josia Kinodia. Asante sana. Thank you so much guys for always joining in and to give you a very brief round of tackles of the day. Alafu tufunge kwa sababu wakati. Acha nianze na wewe kwa sababu yazungumza, acha nianze na wewe Juma, twende kwa Lucia, alafu tumalizie Muchendo. Your tackle of the day.
Wow, what response from Kenyans. Kenyans have been actually, I love Kenyans. I've seen how they're responding to US election. I saw somebody telling Trump, there's a picture of Trump calling Agwambo to hello Agwambo, please send me contact of Chief Justice Maraga. And Agwambo says niko busy na BBI pigia Orengo. and then so on and so forth. He says Otiende has arrived, just send a ticket to Orengo. and then you can get Miguna is available hapo Vancouver atakuapisha. Anyway, a number of Kenyans love humor and they respond very nicely. And one thing that this thing should remind us with, of course, Kenyans, let's not forget BBI while all this is happening. Less BBI is covered while we are concentrating. It passed while we are concentrating in US election. But this election should reveal to us how people vote around issues. Currently, the global community have gone protectionist. And I've seen how the pattern of how US have voted vis-a-vis the pattern of how British voted. British voted actually protectionism, they Brexited. And they are very concerned about their own welfare and their own economy. They've realized, as you were saying, my dear sister, that this other side of the world happen to have individuals who are very unique. If I was to describe a black person in biologically, the significance of a black person is much less, and the only challenge is how we got duped to be taught wrong history by those who
control the history.
Instead of admiring us positively, decided to hate us, and self-hate has been evident. And you've seen it's still captured even within our political systems. And these are the infrastructures that we need to overhaul and make sure that we have actual independence and freedom. And we rule ourselves according to our capacity. You can see the infiltration of our brothers within their ruling system because our potential is not stoppable. So if we can redefine ourselves, and that we discuss out, if you come to JFP on our portal, read about identity, you'll see a lot that we've covered about our history and our culture. And that is what also should have constituted the foundation of the model of the constitution we ought to be having. With this constitution, we are discussing whether BBI or these other things, we are still discussing symptoms and signs. If we were to go to the actual root cause, then we'll even overhaul the model and acquire the right model which is relevant with who we are and our faith and our beliefs. And this should inform our election next time, Kenyans. May the interest, national interest of your country drive you. These guys are driven by agenda. By the way, Trump, I didn't expect Trump to get this much votes. Based on the challenges he's made globally, you can see how he's still appealing to the state citizens. And there are those who actually are dying for him. You can see they're out in the streets. And though my brother has already sent some censures for US, but you can see that they have something that they are standing for as a nation. And so should Kenya, and so should Africa. Actually, my sister, just to add value to what you're saying, Africa is already great. Africa is not rising. That is a pseudo aspiration, the inspiration they give us, because the resources that this is feeding the world economy is African resources. And then even the brains, if you go historically, the content of knowledge and invention that is feeding the global community is African. We are just captive of bad leadership. And this is what we have to overcome. And this is why this forums like this should sensitize Kenyan citizens to rise up to the occasion and take back their power. And our power lies with voting. We delegate it to elective offices during the electoral process. So if we take back that power, I assure you, Kenyan, this shining and being great or rising that they're talking about, we were great and we will always remain great. We just need to show them that here we have arrived. And Justice and Freedom Party is ready, and we are willing to make this happen.
Tutakuja kufanya freedom, maandamano ya freedom. Lucia, tackle of the day.
Tackle of the day. Leo acha nikuwe mpole.
Kwa mpole kabisa. Kwanza kwa sababu kuna miwani mpya. Chunga Wampoda pa.
Hii miwani mpya ndio inaona vizuri hiyo savagery.
Wampoda.
I want to tell Kenyans that the COVID-19 virus is real. It's a disease that's real and it's in Kenya. I know our leaders have wamepuuza, wametufanya tufikiria manze hii ni story, hii corona kia iko. Wacha sasa niongee tu lugha ya mtaa by the way because ni watu wa mtaa nataka kuongelesha. Najua wasa wametufanya tufikirie hii kitu haiko, tufikirie hii kitu si serious, but manze hii kitu iko na hii kitu ni serious. Na the one thing yenye sahi ni clear is that our leaders don't care about us. They don't give two shits about us. If they did, wangekuwa wameka public health officers wa handle pandemic. But then tunatumiwa wasewa army wenye wamefundishwa vita, hawakufundishwa stories za health. So it's upon us, ni responsibility yetu sahi by the way, jichunge, jilinde, just vaa mask manze. Na joy story na bo, hata pia mimi sipendi kuvaa mask, lakini naogopa kukua mgonjwa kuliko venye naogopa kuvaa mask, alafu pia naogopa kushikwa na karao. So vaa mask manze, uji protect, it's important. We ni wa maana, no matter what you're going through in life right now, hata una feel like shit, I want you to know we ni mtu wa maana na life yako ni ya maana, and we still need you. Even if we don't know you, this country will not be complete without you. We need every single life that we can spare to be spared. So please take charge your life yako, spare your life. Just know that Lucia AYIELA here needs you, and she needs you to be alive in order for Kenya to progress. So just wear any mask, sanitize manze, wash your hands, take good care of yourself, sensitize the person who's next to you. Si ati unava mask ndo usishikwe tu na karao, unava mask manze ndo usikwe mgonjwa. Cause one, hospitali zetu ni mbaya man, hospitali zetu ni mbaya, utaenda kukufa huko hosi. Alafu kitu ya pili pia tumesota, tutatoa wapi doa ya kwenda hosi tukiwa wa sick? So prevention is better than cure. Hatuna doa ya kujipeleka hosi na hosi zetu already ni mbaya. So tuvae ni tu mask ndio tu avoid hizi story mingi.
Wear a mask. By the way, corona is real, guys. You know, in case you didn't know, corona is very real, and you need to stay safe. Moja story ya ukimbizana na gava. Maisha yako mazen responsibility yako. Kama unataka ku stay alive, tafadhali vaa mask na usanitize na ukae ukiwa in social place, ensure that you have a mask. Na watu wa matatu bwana, mwache ujinga. Na nani kujaza watu kwa gari? Mwachana hiyo upuzi. Kama ni mtu wa matatu na karao, kama unaacha matatu ipite na imejaza watu, ujue wewe naye will come and deal with you. Will do citizen arrest. So tafadhali, if you want to stay alive, tafadhali follow the government protocols. This is your life, you need to keep utmost responsibility. In fact, this was thing yesterday. Uru angefungua hii kitu, kila mtu achunge maisha yake. If you want to stay alive, take care of yourself. You want to love your family, osha mikono, vaa mask. Lakini puzi ya kusukumwa. Nasema hii story, no. Kuna wenye wako very responsible. Ndio nimesema we need to know. If you want to die, you die alone. Wacha kutusumbua na pressure mpaka kazi hatufanye kwa sababu ya.
Don't let the few responsible people manze watu derail. Yeah. So, majority of us ni wa responsible. Kama uko na nguvu ya kulipa tax na umesota, we ni mse responsible bana.
But this thing is real. Corona is real, guys. Be safe. Mushendu.
Yes.
Your talk of today.
Today I want to address Kenyans on the issue of healthcare. In the last 2 weeks, I have attended about 9 harambees for people who were sick around my area, the neighboring places like Kikuyu, Lari, and one of the things that has come out very clear is that all those people who went to Harambe for do not have health insurance. And it got me thinking, how much does it cost for you to become an NHIF member? Because we are raising money, we are doing Harambes, especially those people who drive borders. We are doing Harambe for you guys. And it is not that we don't want to do it, but it will be responsible of us not to tell you the importance of having a health insurance. And therefore, I am appealing, especially to people with young families, to enroll in the health insurance cover so that you can make your life easier for you, your wife, and your children. That we are doing Harambes for as little as a bill of 50,000, because you are there. You cannot raise the money, and still you do not have health insurance. It is just costing you 500 shillings a month. If you tabulate that into days contribution, should come to about 18 shillings or something. I'm not good at maths, but it should be around there, less than 20 shillings a day, to be sure that you are insured health-wise. So I am appealing to young Kenyans. Please, make all the efforts to get the NHIF health insurance. Please, make our life easier by becoming insured, you, your family, and your children. And I also want to make a commitment in the next 1 or 2 weeks. If we get people who are watching the tackle that do not have health insurance, and they have expressed that they want to become members of NHIF, if three people in tackle, if you can raise half of the amount, I will be donating the other half to 3 people, so that you can become NHIF credited and then insure your family. Because these are some of the things that we need to tell people. Even today, God forbid you get coronavirus. If you do not have NHIF, that bill is becoming crazy, and the government is not willing to pay for you. So today, I just want to appeal to Kenyans. For once, think about yourself. Get yourself insured and take care of your health.
What a tackle. Thank you so much guys for thinking about the tacklers. Naona kuna watu wale watapewa watu unajua huko Amerika, huko Afrika wanaekanga kwa post ya stima. Lakini kuna nyama naona wanakuja hapa anaitwa Hawature. Nasema alikuwa ameenda ndiye akamuita na uganga. Nataka kukuambia kwa lugha ambayo utaelewa kwamba hiyo puzi parako huko mbali. Sami Base anasema Lucia can understand that Australia army locked us into part 3, nobody going out and nobody coming in. We have been normal for 4 months now. Right. Anasema military should also take off. Faith Washu. Anasema you guys are doing a good job. Keep it up. Asante sana. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to have you. Asante sana. We have to see you again tomorrow for sheria wiki hii. Tujue ni nini lipi linafanyika kwenye sheria. Tuangazia pia mambo ya ICC. We'll have an ICC special with our panel of lawyers so that we can dissect this thing better. Thank you so much. Thank you so much guys for joining us. Juma, asante sana kwa baraka ya kwanza. Mushendu, wewe umekuja nyumbani hapa kila siku. Asante. Lucia, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you kwa asante leo kwa sababu hujatupa Polimao kwa police station. Thank you guys. This is the tackle. The tackle ends now. Bye bye and see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Bitok.